Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, it's another Saturday. It's another unloading of a rewire from the van into the stores. This is just like spare stuff we end up with on a job, like offcuts of cable and fixings and the hoover and wall chaser and all things like that. It's just easier when no one's here at the office on the weekend just to get it done. But I did have a very good idea, which is I thought I'd come on here and explain what a rewire actually is, because there's so many people, so many customers we speak to. It's not so much what a rewire is, that's quite self-explanatory. It's more what a rewire entails. The amount of customers who went to a job a couple of weeks ago and the customers had pretty much just nearly finished decorating the whole house and they asked us for a rewire, and it's not their fault. They don't understand. We're in the trade. We know the sequence of things, okay? But a rewire is basically the replacement of all, and every single one of them, cables, accessories, back boxes, all stuff like that in your property. Normally, it's rewired because of the age of the property. So they recommend every 25 years or so, the property is rewired to keep in line with modern safety regulations, best practices. From the way they used to work compared to how we work now, we've learnt a lot more, and also because old accessories and particularly cabling actually breaks down over a period of time. So older cables used to be more of a rubber-based polymer in the plastic, and what that means is the rubber actually used to start breaking down. When it breaks down, it means the cables can touch, and when they touch, that's what causes fires. Pardon me, it's bad coffee there. Oh, pardon me. So yeah, that's what it does. It's the breakdown of them that causes the fires. Modern cabling is a lot better. This stuff here is there's less rubber in the plastic. It's a lot stronger. So the chance of the plastic breaking down on their own due to age, very rare now. But that's what it is. It's replacing everything. Now, the best time really to have a rewire done is normally before you've got a holiday planned or before you have big building work done, just because everything's happening at once. It's a lot easier. So if your property is if the electrics in your property are at least 25-30 years old, it's probably worth considering a rewire, particularly if you're just about to redecorate, do a new kitchen or stuff like that, because once it's redecorated, you're likely not going to redecorate for another 10, 15, 20 years. Now the electrics could fail in that time, which means you'll have to redecorate anyway. And the reason you have to redecorate is the traditional way of wiring a house means cutting into the walls. So what we do is we actually cut chases into the brick wall, into the plastered wall. And what we do is we put our cables in this stuff. So this is some oval conduit, and we drop our cables in there for protection, put that in the wall, it gets plastered over, and then you can decorate. Now, chasing into walls, it's horrible. It's noisy, it's messy, it's a nuisance, but it's got to get done. So that is sort of linked. So basically, when a rewire happens, there'll be a ridiculous amount of noise. There'll be dust everywhere, because even we've got large extraction hoovers and dust collecting, you won't ever be able to stop all the dust. There'll be dust settling, which means a week or so later you will brush your finger against the sideboard, you'll find dust there, because that's what will happen. It'll just go everywhere once it's settled. It means all the furniture get moved upstairs. It means all the carpets coming up. It means all the floorboards coming up, so we can get our cable route, because all the cables are wired in between the joists. If you've got access below the ground floor, so like some properties have like a void behind them underneath the foundations, it means getting down there, wiring everything. Yeah, it's not nice. But rewire takes about, if the property is not occupied, so this is why it's best to plan it when you're on holiday. If you're on holiday, our team can normally get the average rewire done in about 4 or 5 days, and that includes plastering. We get a plasterer in, he does all the plastering for us. But what it does mean is when you come back into the property, you're likely going to have to redecorate. So that's why it's best to do it all around the same time. We don't have a decorating service. We can recommend decorators, we just don't do it. So that's what it entails. If you're in the property, if you're living in the property while the rewire is going on, you're likely going to be looking about 2 to 3 weeks. it's a big inconvenience when the property is occupied, and the reason for that is the fact we have to keep stop, starting, tidying up and turning the power back on. So normally if we're wiring, say we're wiring the lighting circuit, if you're not on the property, we don't have to turn the lights on, okay? Which means we can get everything in, terminate at the end, turn it on. It's a lot quicker than doing some, terminate, on, wait for the next day, disconnect, do some more, terminate, on, next day. It takes a lot longer. Plus, if you live in the property, we have to tidy up every day. We have to prep every day. We have to just take a different approach to the way we work. If you're not there, we can just disconnect everything, stick on our temporary power, tidy up still, but not have to be so overly the top, tidying up at the end of every day, and then do a very big, deep clean at the end of the job. It's a lot quicker, it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot more enjoyable, to be honest, for rewires. Plus, you don't want to be stuck in the property hearing noise disturbance for the next God knows how many weeks. But yeah, that's basically what a rewire is. So, main takeaways, I'd say, if your property's electric's kind of old, if you're unsure, get an electrician out to test it. They will also, electrician testing the property will also be able to tell you if it's old cabling, but if it's old cabling that actually needs replacing. Normally electricians can have an estimate, think, okay, 5 years from now it might break, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, just so you're aware. Plan it around when you've got something coming up. Ideally, if you're going away on holiday for 2 weeks, perfect time. You're not going to get a better time to get it done. When you come back to the property, know what to expect. It's going to be clean. Likely most electricians won't. So the way we work, we sort of put all the furniture from the outside of the room into the middle, cover it all up. Depending on if we've discussed prior with the customer, we'll put the furniture back, but little knickknacks and pictures and all stuff like that we'll probably still leave in a box. We don't take the risk of damaging it. Normally what we say, customers, before we start the rewire, they will go around, they will take all the knickknacks, all the small ornaments, anything fragile, anything electronic, they'll put it all in one area and put it in the garage or something, or put it in the loft or somewhere out of the way where it can't get damaged. And then we'll move all the big furniture, we'll move all the big furniture back. Know that you're going to have plastered walls, plastered chases, so there's going to have to be touched up or redecorated. So the chases will basically be anywhere there is a socket or switch in the wall. That's how it's going to be. Chases are like when plaster's gone off, it's more of like a pinky orange. So you'll have to get them redecorated. Again, if you've got spare paint for the room, perfect. Touch it up, it's not too bad. Or you might have to get the whole room redecorated. Again, it's best when you're doing the whole house pretty much. What else? Also good when you've got building work going on. If you've got an extension being built, just get it done, because it's going to be, you've already got such an inconvenience, a little bit more isn't going to be the worst thing in the world. Or it's going to get the worst bit over and done with. And just bear with me because I've got it written down here. No, that's pretty much it. Yeah. But that's it. That's how you deal with I was looking at the wrong bit. But yeah, that's basically what you got to tell. One thing I will say, if you're having it done while you're away, there's going to be a huge reduction in the price. Okay? Normally we find an average, it's about a 30% reduction on the total price if you're away while the work's being done, compared to if you were in the property, living in the property while the work's happening. Simply because you save so much labour just being able to get everything done in one go. So yeah, that's just a quick video, let you explain what a rewire is, when you should have a rewire done. It's quite crucial actually if you've just moved into a property, particularly if you're first time buyer. Don't decorate. Do not get decorate yet. Get the electrics checked, because if you need a rewire, there is no point you start decorating. There's no point getting new carpets. There's no point putting all the nice furniture exactly where you want it, because it'll all have to get upheaved. And it's better that happens now than a few years down the line when you're fully settled in, because we feel terrible when we have to go to customers and tell them that, because I can only imagine how distraughting that is. Particularly with carpets, because carpets, particularly new carpets, carpets in general, once carpets go down and you pull them up, you never quite able to get them back down exactly how they were. Even if we use a carpet fitter who actually comes in after our rewires to put them back down, you can never seem to get them right because they stretch out. And once you've disturbed that, they sort of shrink a little bit. It just doesn't seem as good. And if you've got old carpets, there's a good chance they'll have to rip up entirely, because the second we pull an old carpet up, the old underlay may crumble, the actual carpet might not be that good, it will just be awful. So yeah, I hope this helped. If you've got any questions or whatever it is, drop them down in the comments below. We'll try and help out where we can. We're going to start producing some more online content on our website and blogs, so we'll let you know when they're up. Go and check them out. There should be a load of videos somewhere, so click on them. Should be some more information. But other than that, normal stuff. Like, subscribe, share us, helps the channel. But we'll see you on the next one. Catch you later.